Mm. What in the fuck is over there? Oh, it's Detective Deke. You need a Sherlock Holmes like magnifying glass.
I was trying to get up close so I could see all the clues for today's episode.
Oh yeah. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. I hope everybody's balls are not as blue as mainstream media. They have been waiting for this day for so fucking long. They want today to be their Christmas. Oh no. I think Deke just snorted some coffee up his nose.
I almost spit it out all over my thousands of dollars worth of electronic equipment here because you just decided to take off the freaking bridle this morning and go wild.
Yeah, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the show. That's Deacon. I'm JJ. This every morning we drink coffee and we talk news and other stuff, and
It really
everybody
should be
needs
a phone
to add.
call between us. It really
Should be a phone call. Where's that thing? We got some good advice right here from 729.
Best comment we ever got.
This comment is now on the top of our YouTube page and our Rumble page. It's like floating right at the top. Yeah. So we're your two dads, and we're going to talk about news, comics, politics, whatever's in the news. Today, the news is going to be like a little bit of Trump because it's still the foreplay because it hasn't happened yet. We don't know. Is it going to happen?
I have something that can I take something little bitty small in the
yes,
when
please
we start the show and do because we talked about music on here before. You're not so much of a music person as I am, and so I was up at like 3 a.m. this morning. And I got to work at like 4, and I've been sitting in here just jamming all morning, doing my stuff because I don't have to pay attention to this over here, as much. So I turn it down. And I just turned on Spotify and I was just jamming this morning to just whatever I want to listen to. And I was listening to some cool. You see my shirt?
I see that.
So I was listening to some Grateful Dead this morning as I was jamming in here. And I thought, man, we had a really good conversation on the Discord server about music. What if I do DJ Deke's music song of the day? DJ Deke's song of the day. That's it. It's real quick. We don't have to talk about the song. It's just if you've never heard this song of the day, I'm going to pick one song that I recommend you listen to today at some point.
Me personally,
anybody,
everybody, audience.
Just to expand your mind because it may be something that you've never even considered listening to ever before. But I just want to ask you, just expand your mind to listen to something different.
Well, one, we can't actually play the song on the show.
No, I don't want to play a song on the show. Sometime during the day, you listen to the song that I recommend. My DJ recommendation.
And if you go to Discord and maybe you already have, but you can connect your Spotify so that people can see what you're listening to.
Well, I thought about doing that, but I use that a lot for my radio. But I thought about DJ Deke's playlist, like weekly playlist.
I'm not the audiophile that would have strong feelings about that.
I know. But we had some really good conversations with a lot of folks in the Discord server. So DJ Deke's song of the day is today is Althea by the Grateful Dead. It's from the Go to Heaven album. So it's about 7 minutes long, and it's a beautiful song. It's a beautiful
7-minute song.
It's like six minutes and something long or something. And that's nothing, man. You don't get it. You don't get a good fish run like the antelope unless it's about 19 minutes long. All right. So yeah, this Althea, it's a really pretty song. It's from
19 minutes 80s.
Oh yeah, dude. I played. I convinced my program director at the time. I worked on a classic rock station. I convinced my program director at the time. I worked in the afternoons, and I had this thing on Friday, or I had this thing at 5 called Live at 5. It was my Live at 5, where I play live songs at 5 o'clock and some live.
Okay.
And I convinced him one time to let me do the live version. I think it was of. It was the Allman Brothers. I don't think it was Jessica. It was Southbound or Blue Sky or some. It was about a 25-minute long live cut of this song that I convinced him to let me play. And I had such great response from that. People calling up going, radio stations don't do that crap. That was awesome. Rah, rah, rah. So I'm the guy that gets in. You don't want to know how many times I've been called to the general manager's office for something that I said. That shit don't bother me anymore. I've been in trouble so many times. So
Man,
listen to Althea from the Grateful Dead.
20. This is only a 7-minute song. I can barely get through a 10-minute YouTube video. So I don't know. I don't know under what circumstances you can make a 20-minute song, but this is only 7.
See, that's to me. That's
I now, listen, Deke, you'd be proud because rather than driving to school in silence yesterday, when I put my kids in the car, I put my Sugar Ray CD in, and I made them. I forced them to listen to.
JJ he posted that in the Discord. We were talking about music yesterday. He's like, Deacon's gonna make fun of me because I listened to Sugar Ray and Weezer, and I'm like, dude, I've loved Weezer since the Blue album, and that's what my kids are getting into Weezer because I think that the modern kids they love Weezer and they think it's a brand new,
I'm sure it's retro. It's retro cool now.
Whatever, yeah. And so I was having to tell them, I was like, when I saw Weezer for the first time, 2 bands opened up for them that we had never heard of before: Fountains of Wayne and Bowling for Soup, and we had never even heard of those freaking bands before. So yeah, Sugar Ray, Mark McGrath, that's good stuff. It'll make your kids listen to that stuff.
Yeah.
All right. That's enough music.
Okay. All right. Let's see. What are we going to talk about? I don't know. Here's the thing. Today's the day of the Trump arrest.
Nah.
But it's too early in the morning. There's no Trump arrest. So maybe we'll find out about it tomorrow.
If Trump gets arrested today, I'll do a freaking ballerina dance on the show tomorrow.
Were you really?
If Trump gets arrested today, I will do a ballerina dance tomorrow.
They may try to arrest him, but it's New York that's trying to arrest him. And he's in Florida.
He's going to try to
So Tim Pool is saying that he thinks that if they try to arrest him today, that Trump will surrender. Like, Trump wants the photo of him in handcuffs just as much as CNN and MSNBC and everybody else.
Let me give you a scenario, JJ.
It's a major campaign advantage.
Me and you have been hired to get Trump reelected. Okay, from all this shit that's gone on, we've been hired. Our company has been hired to do this. So, what's the first thing that we need to do? We need to judge how many people in America are like me and how many people are still diehard Trumpers. How many people like Trump but think that his time has passed and is not going to vote for him?
Mm-hmm.
Or how many people are going to vote for Trump? So how would you do? What would be one of the easiest ways to do that? Hey, your boy's fixing to get arrested. Look what they're doing. They're getting pissed off as shit.
But it's not just the hard Trumpers that would get upset about it, right?
Right.
It's the middle, the people that are nonpartisans. You'll be like, hold on, these 2 guys are running for president, and the one that's the president is letting this happen. It's like political. It's weaponization of the justice system.
You don't give a crap about the people that hate Trump, and Trump doesn't give a crap about the people that hate him, and he doesn't give a crap about the people that love him. Hear me out. All right. He does give a crap, but he doesn't give a crap about the people that love him or hate him because their minds have already been made up.
Right.
There's no changing their minds. You're right when you say the people in the middle are the ones that.
Right.
All right, who's bitching now? Who's backing us now? You know, and you know, all it would take is
we have a guy we have Mr. E, who pretty famously he's like cheering the Trump arrest or whatever.
Yeah, and we're like, okay, every day. But Mr. E's sticking it out.
Here's the scorecard. One of these guys did not get us into a war and got the Abraham Accords, and he talks a lot on Twitter, but he didn't get us like the other guy has ruined the fucking economy, has lost a war in Iraq, has got in Afghanistan, has got us into a war in Ukraine. Like, it's just this is nuts. And then we're gonna have Donald Trump being indicted or extradited to New York over a hooker bill. Come on, man. Anyway, this is crazy. All right. We got a bunch of other stuff to talk about though. I'm going to talk about this because this is making me laugh right before the show. A couple of changing topics. We're just going to talk media and stuff for a second. A couple of days ago, there was a tweet on. Oh, we don't think you like Biden, Mr. E. We know that. We just know that you very much dislike Trump. I don't want to mischaracterize it, but I feel like you feel like this Stormy Daniels thing for New York is like Al Capone getting busted on taxes, which is not at all comparable, but that's my feeling of your position, and I'm not trying to represent your position. I just know that there's people that just, yeah, okay, all right. I just know that there's people that are cheering against Trump no matter what, and I'm like, come on, be mildly objective. This is absolutely ridiculous. The New York DA is on an absolute fishing trip, can't find anything, and it's fine. It's fine.
That's what I was trying to figure out. I was like, what is the end goal out of this? I mean, what is the what is, if I was the DA's office, I mean, not even the DA's office, because you know that they're just puppets, right? Somebody's puppet. What is the end goal? I've been trying to see what the purpose of all this is, because the purpose is not, oh, we're going to get Trump and Trump. That's not the fucking purpose. All right. That's not the purpose. There's
no.
Don't
figure
out what it is.
Don't underestimate the stupidity of this plan. The stupidity of this plan is we're going to get Trump and we'll get him in handcuffs. Okay. You got him in handcuffs. And then what? And then what? And then he's going to eventually get like released, and like it'll be a federal judge will overturn this, appeals court will overturn this, whatever. And there'll be the photo of Donald Trump being hauled around in handcuffs, right? And all the people on the left will be like, "We won, we got him," and everybody that is in opposition to that, not just the Trumpers, but the people that are like, you cannot weaponize the justice system to destroy your political opponents. They will get. That's when the switch gets turned on, and they're like, we're not having any of this fucking shit. This is cartoon shit that happens in South American, puppet countries. Okay.
No shit. This is shit.
This is the dumbest and
shit that we read about that happens in South Africa.
Yeah.
And countries in South Africa.
And on top of this, and they still don't understand this, Donald Trump is like a energy. Scott Adams calls him an energy monster. Some people cause activity. They cause media sensation. They get activity or whatever, and they get energy from the chaos that ensues. You put Donald Trump's picture on newspapers and magazines or whatever, and it's going to fuel him. It doesn't matter that he's in handcuffs. It doesn't matter. Him and his team will consume that energy and turn it into something like that you didn't expect. And they're fucking giving it to him and trying to get him on a front page in handcuffs.
How did that man, I mean, look back on the Donald Trump from just in the past 30 years. Look back on Donald Trump. How did he become the man that can say he don't even have to say a word, and he can enrage or incite?
Mr. E, even Mr. E says they will turn this arrest into millions of donation dollars. Dude, yes, absolutely.
1,000,000% correct.
It will be the campaign faucet.
He just answered my question. I can't figure out out the underlying goal. That is the underlying goal. Thank you, my friend, Mr.
And because of that, if New York says we want to arrest Donald Trump in Florida, who DeSantis may not even extradite, right? And New York can't just come get him. Donald Trump will be like, okay, I surrender. And he will surrender to go be put in handcuffs to make this happen. It's like, you couldn't ask for more press. This is anyway. So we'll see what happens. I don't know what's going to happen today.
I didn't think about that, but you're right. Yeah.
These charges that they're trying to trump him on, the federal prosecutors have already been like, nah, there's nothing here. We're not doing this.
I know,
but this is New York. New York DA is like, we're going to get Trump.
because it's a new guy, and it's a new. From what I've read, he's a new puppet, basically.
Alan Biggs or something like that. I don't know. All right, I want to talk about Mahershala Ali for just a second. I said his name right. I like Mahershala Ali. He was cool in Luke Cage, even though that show sucked.
No, I liked Luke Cage. I thought the acting was really good. The casting in Luke Cage was phenomenal. You couldn't get the Netflix casting. Whoever the casting directors were for the Netflix shows, they need to be recognized a little bit. I mean, because they knocked it out of the fucking park on every one of those.
That's true. Casting. Yes.
Casting. I mean,
pacing,
even down to Foggy Nelson, and I mean, Punisher,
I like Foggy.
All of them were perfect casting. Kingpin, oh my God, freaking What did I watch over the weekend? I watched the Magnificent Seven that was made back 4 or 5 years ago or whatnot, and Vincent D'Onofrio's in that. And when he walked out on the screen, I was like, oh, I love him.
So Mr. E says the fight scenes in Luke Cage were terrible. No, so Luke Cage, Deacon, let me get your opinion on this. I feel like Luke Cage was a person who likes music's Marvel show.
Who likes what?
Music. Like a music, like an audio file, because every single episode featured music in a big way.
Oh, I didn't. It's been a while since I watched.
It has been a while.
They would Mike. What's his name? Coulter. Mike Coulter.
Yeah, he was great.
I like him. He's a really good actor. I watched this show on Prime called Evil, and he's a priest in that show, and he does a really good job. Man, he's a good actor. I like him.
I'm just imagining like a giant, swole up.
Yeah, he is
priest.
Yes, he's huge. Like a big Michael Duncan looking asshole.
So a few days ago, over on Bounding into Comics, there was a rumor that the Blade reboot was delayed due to Mahershala Ali not being happy with the proposed script.
Right.
Now, if you've been following things, unless you're like 18 years old or whatever, you probably know that there was Blade trilogy of movies before, and they were amazing. It was back in like 1999 and like 2001 or whatever.
And they're not going to be good today. I mean, if you were to watch them today for the first time, you'd be like, oh, that's terrible. But back in the day, they were freaking awesome.
I don't know, man. Okay, so I think Blade 1, I mean, the CGI may not hold up, but I think Blade 1 probably holds up as being like radically entertaining. And Blade 2 was a Guillermo del Toro flick. So
it had that.
Yeah, and it was
it was
the vampires that
that's right.
The bases open up or whatever. The third one was kind of crappy, but it had Ryan Reynolds, and that was
the 2 was great because maybe I'm thinking of Hellboy 2. I'm thinking of Hellboy 2. Was that a Guillermo del Toro 2?
Yeah, those were also Guillermo del Toro flicks. Yeah. Okay, so rather than keep the Blade that was awesome for 25 years, Marvel's like, we're going to get Mahershala Ali to be Blade. And, initially people are like, but Wesley Snipes. Okay, but Wesley Snipes is like, I don't know, what is he, 80 years old now? he's getting up there. He's like probably late 50s. Okay, fine. Mahershala Ali, he was cool. He was in Luke Cage, and you've probably seen him in a lot of other stuff, and he was really, really cool. Okay, we can kind of see that. And now it looks like Mahershala Ali is looking at the script and be like, hold up, this don't look awesome. So I saw this tweet and I posted as a reply, and I said, I speculated. I said, let's see, how about Blade finds out he has a daughter, and it turns out she's better at being a daywalker and doesn't have to drink blood at all, and is better at killing vampire, and sometimes turns her into her bestie friends and cures vampirism with the power of friendship.
That's nice. That's cool.
And then somebody went up to me and added to my thread and says, it sounds right, we should add 2 things. She cures one of the female vampires, and they fall in love and get to kiss and with many kisses to stick it to men, and some good misunderstood vampires as well, as saying evil is racist. Evil is racist. Okay. Yeah,
evil is racist.
So
that's a good line. We could put that on a TV or a
evil.
Evil is racist. We'd fucking make $1 million.
Hold up! Don't give away the ideas. We need some ideas for merch around here. It's okay. We're way too early in our lifespan for merch. Okay. So check this out. This is a different story. It says rumor. This is a different one. Marvel Blade reboot will in fact feature title hero's daughter and Kit Harington as the Black Knight to be.
And now let me just point out something. The likelihood that this article was typed off of your comment is pretty fucking great, actually.
It's not zero. It's possible. Is it possible that I'm the source of the rumor?
Probably, yeah. I've read. That's what I was telling JJ. I've read many articles before coming across in these digital magazines. Is all they are. They're just digital magazines. And I've read many articles where it's been like, it's a fucking I'm the asshole. A post from Reddit. Reddit's got the subreddit I'm the asshole. It's both statements. It's on the bumper sticker.
Exactly. Nice. Thanks, Richter Fallows.
We have the viewers.
Yep, this is so much fun. All right,
I have a story for you, JJ.
Okay.
Oh, when I heard
shitty story.
When I heard this story this morning, I had to stop everything that I was doing and look for this story for you, because I thought, oh my God, you're going to be so excited. Oh, I'm in the wrong page. Oh, sorry. I was on the wrong. I'm so excited. I don't even know what to hit. What is that? What are you?
Oh, I don't know why I did that. I'm sorry. My bad. I was pushing the wrong button. Look, where's that producer? Get him. Hey, do your job.
You asshole. Okay, here it is. So I was listening to I got here really early and I was listening to music and I was listening to I always about 5 a.m. I'll start watching news and whatnot. And I had to look up this story. So I'm just going to let you read it. Fan has pooped in the aisle near Hillary and Chelsea Clinton as they watched Some Like It Hot on Broadway.
Hey, some like it real hot. Some like it steaming hot.
So apparently, and let me say, unfortunately, let me just scroll up so we're not looking at those two hideous fucking visages.
Hey, that could be our commander in chief. That could have been. No, go down. No, scroll down. Scroll down. It gets even better. Scroll down. Look at that picture. Evil is racist.
Look,
evil is racist.
If you want to plant a garden and keep the fucking crows out, just print that picture right there. Put it in your garden. No, yes. So unfortunately, we don't think that this has happened before. This is the fourth time that the serial pooper has pooped in an aisle at a theater off Broadway. They did poop in the aisle right beside Hillary and Chelsea. And for the person that pooped in the aisle beside Hillary or Chelsea, if you pooped before and kept it in the plastic bag, however you went about it.
I don't know how. That's dedication. I mean, okay, so this seems like it was incidental that it was happened next to them, and they just happened to be there. Is that what we're to understand?
You're popping my bubble. I'm hoping that it was targeted.
No, because I'm really hoping. Hold on, I'm gonna close your window for just a second.
Thank you. I'm done watching.
I'm really just sitting over here wondering, like what is the thought process in a human being's mind moments before this? They look over and they're like, well, that's Hillary Clinton and her daughter Chelsea. I think I'm going to drop my pants and pinch one off right here.
Okay, what if, let me give you this scenario, JJ. You and your wife have gotten these tickets. It's the first time you're going to Broadway. She loves the place Some Like It Hot. You have procured these tickets. And so you're walking along, JJ, and you're walking along. And you look over and you're trying to find your seats, and you look over, and right behind you or in front of you, or even right beside your seats, is Chelsea and Hillary Clinton. What if the sight of those two people caused an involuntary bowel movement and you just shit all over yourself.
Maybe it wasn't even his fault.
Because yeah, maybe you couldn't handle. And what if it was? And let me just point out this little piece of information. You said we are being sexist to assume that it was a he, because
could have been a
woman in a dress
or
would have far easier access.
That's true.
To drop a road apple there.
Yeah, you'd have to get your pants down and your shorts. I mean, could have been a female. Could have been a female. It didn't even occur. It didn't even occur to me that it could be a female. I assumed it would be a male.
See, I did too.
That's I guess that's sexist of me. Yeah.
To assume that the
what if it's Hillary?
What if it's Hillary? What if it's Hillary?
How about the fact that there was a whole audience and people, and somebody there was like, "Whoa," and then somebody else was like, "That guy's pooping," and there's Hillary. I'll allow it.
Is that guy pooping over there?
I don't know.
Oh, I heard that.
Some like it hot. What a yeah. So some like it hot. What an appropriate play for this sort of thing. Wow.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
These eyes are just like.
I had to. We're not looking at that. We're watching you.
Soulless.
Yeah, I can't look at it.
I'm just looking into these eyes and I'm thinking like, this person is a psychopath.
How old is Chelsea? Isn't she our age?
Yeah, she was like 18 or 20 or whatever. She was like right around that age whenever they were in office back in the 90s.
She's born 1980. Okay, so she's younger. She's a little younger.
1990? She was born in 1990?
1980.
Oh, yeah. So she's just a little bit younger.
Yeah, she's just a little bit younger than us. So, okay. Yeah. All right.
All right. So we had a couple stories that didn't get into the show a couple days ago. And a couple of, and yesterday I put on the title card, hey, while we were off for a week because we didn't have a show last week, we missed some Christian perspectation. Did you see
I was in the woods.
Yeah, I was in the woods, man.
I was in the woods
for one night. Spent 4 nights recovering.
That's my excuse now when people ask me, "Hey, do you know that?" I was in the woods, dude.
I was confronting evil. It was racist, and I was like, "Hey, evil!"
It's confronting evil. That's another one. That's another. Your 2 dads confronting evil on a daily basis.
Oh my god, we need a catchphrase for this.
Your 2 dads confronting.
I better write down here where I have my constant reminder to subscribe. Maybe I'll put a rotation in of like, don't. Anyway, okay. All right. Let's see. So we missed some stuff. There was the Kirk Cameron library thing. Did you read about the Kirk Cameron library thing? I think you posted it.
I posted that. Hang on. I gotta talk. Hang on.
He's got to talk on the radio. We'll come back to that one. Here's one that we'll come back to the Kirk Cameron thing because I think he had something to say about it. But we have here a Bible college in the United Kingdom. So it's a Bible college, but it's in the United Kingdom. So I don't know if it modifies this at all because I don't live in the United Kingdom. I don't know anything about that. A Methodist Bible college in the UK fired a Christian theologian and threatened to report him as a terrorist because of his tweets in opposition to homosexuality, his attorneys claimed. Dr. Aaron Edwards, who taught theology at Cliff College in Derbyshire, England, was dismissed from school after being accused of bringing the college into disrepute on social media last month. Homosexuality is invading the church, Edwards tweeted on February 19th. Evangelicals no longer see the severity of this because they're apologizing for their apparently barbaric homophobia, whether or not it's true. This is a gospel issue, by the way. If sin is no longer a sin, we no longer need a savior. Well, sounds like in the United Kingdom, if you're a Christian and you adhere strongly to some of these ideas, and by the way, I don't necessarily disagree with that. I don't know that it's homosexual. In fact, in our own church this week, we had this is kind of a careful thing to thread the needle here of like, hey, don't be be harmful or cruel to people. And also you can say some things are wrong, right? Some things are wrong. Punching people in the face is wrong. Uh, you know, definitely killing people is wrong. Taking their money is wrong. For some people have decided that homosexuality is not wrong, and some people retain the idea that it is wrong. And mostly, my opinion of this is right along the lines of a lot of other things. Of like, just leave me out of it. Stop bringing me into it.
I've got this. I've got a little funny. I've got that saying. It's not my saying. It's a saying that I heard.
Right.
You know, that used to be said a lot of time. But I say it around the house, and my kids had never heard it. And I've said it many times. But I said it again the other day, and Kendra goes, "Alex says that now." And my son, she was like, "Alex says that now at school." She was like disgusted at the fact that Alex goes, because I'll go. They'll be fighting or arguing about something, and they'll look at me, and I'm like, "My name's Paul, and this is between y'all." And I'll walk off. I'm like, "My name's Paul, and this is all. This is between y'all." So that's how I look at it too. My opinion does not matter. It doesn't matter what I think, because my opinion does not matter.
But the thing is, like, you can, you know, it's a legitimate kind of question to bring this up, to be like, look, if the Bible, if God says it's wrong, but the rest of the world is like, no, it's good, and we're actively living in like a daily propaganda fest telling you it's right, where it's, and I'm not out here saying it's wrong. I mean, like, I'm saying I'm not the judge. I don't know, but you must admit that the left side of this is like, is literally waving flags and telling you must
care.
Bend the knee and adhere,
because they don't believe the Bible, so they don't care about your book. That would be like, I mean, do you care about their book? No.
Yeah, but I'm also not going over there and be like, hey, you better barbecue today.
You don't, but people that call themselves Christians do. And they've done it for a long time. Westboro Baptist Church. I mean, would you
that is an example, but your example right there. No way. They're like an outlier extreme.
But most people around the world see that shit. I had a friend from Nepal come over to college for a couple of years. His name was Gaurav. I will never see this man again in my life. I wish I would, because he was my friend. Me and my friend Reed used to hang out with Gaurav, and we used to call him G.
What a name! Oh my
I know.
God,
it was like James over there.
Karmic. That's like a comic book like Conan name. That's amazing.
Yeah, Gaurav. Yeah.
Gaurav.
And we used to call him G. And he loved it. He thought that was like an American thing. We'd be like, "What's up, G?" And he loved it. He loved being called, "What is up?" You know,
"What up, G?"
He was Hindu, and when he ate hamburger, and he told me that if his family had found out that he had eaten beef, that he would be disowned, and that one of the slurs over there that they call us is beef eaters. We're meat eaters. Or beef eaters over there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's like a slur. Well. So we were talking about Hindu. He was Hindu. All right. Why did I start telling you this damn story? What were we talking about? What were we talking about before this?
We were talking about the radical left and their homosexual agenda has no room whatsoever for you to hold the opinion that maybe that's not right. It used to be like, culturally, socially, this was not approving of homosexuality was the cultural norm, and to hear about it was like, oh, that's weird and strange. And then we were told, like, no, it's,
I know what I was
love
trying
is
to say.
love and all of that. Okay.
Gaurav was telling me that they taught Christianity over there to them, of what Christianity was for the rest of the world, and it wasn't until he got over here that he didn't realize that not everyone is Catholic. They all assume that is Christians, and what you see that's all Christians. So Westboro Baptist Church and these people that hate people all the time, those are what they see, and that's what they assume are all Christians. He said it wasn't until he got over here that he learned there's a train coming by. Of course, when I'm trying to fucking make a point, the goddamn phone and a train, a fucking alien's gonna land here in a minute.
Evil is racist.
Listen how loud that shit is.
Wow, that's amazing.
A loud one today.
My kids would love it, dude. My kids would be like
2 or 3 times the kids love it. And
yeah.
And then it's boring. It's just loud noise. So I mean that's all I was trying to get at is that what the world sees that Christians were hating on, that's they don't know that there's other things going on.
Right. Yeah.
Like, I mean, if you wanted to get into it, there's a big hoodoo right now in the Methodist church, because there are a lot of Methodist churches that are getting away from they're completely taking out the Methodist faith, because the Methodists are siding with the LGBTQTP. And they're having some tolerance to that, and a lot of the Methodist churches are getting away from the Methodist name because the Methodists are tolerating that more. I just read an article the other day about a huge Methodist church up in Michigan that has cut ties with the Methodist organization. There was a big Methodist church built in our town. It took a year or 2 years to build this big freaking church that I bitched about all the time, because if you go to $1 million church and you've got people starving in your town, you need to look at your fucking priorities. But anyway, there's $1 million freaking church going on, and they were a Methodist church, and then all of a sudden they're not a Methodist church anymore. And I'm like, why are they not a Methodist church anymore? They've changed the name and it come to that's why. It's because a lot of these Methodist churches are going because they're. So, I mean,
I've casually observed this. I mean, I live down in I'm not that South, but I live in Texas, and all my life I've gone to either Baptist churches or Bible churches or, things like that. And
I've been to so many different denominations, because I'm Scoop, man. That was my nickname for my granddad. I'm Scoop. I'm like a little reporter. I'm always asking why. I got to know why. Why is the Church of Christ? Why can't y'all listen to? Why can't y'all listen to?
They got extra rules. There's all these extra rules.
What's your rule? Why do the Baptists got to do this? Why do you got to do this? Why do you allow women preachers? Why do you handle snake? I hadn't been to a snake handling church, but that's why do you interpret that?
It's right there on the front page.
Even my Jewish friends, I'm like, why do y'all do that?
I never had a problem with the fact that there's a lot of different denominations, because my view of it is like, there's a lot of different. Okay, so like there's different parts of your body. You don't walk on your hands, right? You walk on your feet. You pick things up with your hands. You sit on your butt. So like I can see there being a reason to have different varieties of things for different things. I am not a person that's particularly charismatic in the Christian religious sense of waving hands around and stuff like that. But there's people that feel kind of like more comfortable for that. So like more comfortable and demonstrative. It's just not part of like who I am or the way I was raised. So I don't have a problem with that. There's different denominations. Generally, the denominations kind of fracture and start based on theological points where, like there's an idea or a divide here, and people come down on one side or the other. And that's usually the root of the split. And the way that I was kind of raised up in the tradition that we have always held is that it's the responsibility of me to be familiar with what the text says. It's not my job. It's not okay for me to just ride along and just do what someone says. I have to read it myself and interpret it myself and come to a determination of what is good and what is bad and what's my place in this world related to God. Nobody else is involved. Now, That is not the experience that everybody has. For some Christian religions, their framework is like, I'm just a person and a priest is like, more important than me, and they get absolution or whatever. I don't think that's the framework of reality. You know, I think it's like you're responsible for everything that you do in your life. And a lot of things I do in my life are not good. And thank God that there's like a God that forgives things because I do a lot of things that are not good. But that is the relationship. It's very much me and God and nobody else. So,
that was a hard concept for me to grasp for a long time, was to believe in a God that forgives. And it's really hard to forgive yourself for a lot of things. That was the hardest part. But once I believed that the God that I believed in forgave, it was harder for me to forgive myself for punishing,
Well, so this is kind of the point I kind of want to get around to eventually, is this.
Okay.
Pardon my throat.
Yeah, mine too.
I feel like I can internally resolve the fact that I'm not a good person. I do some things that are good and some things that are bad. And I believe that, like the God of the universe understands that I'm a simpleton. And as long as our binding contract is that as long as I, submit to God and Jesus, and that I can be forgiven for the things that I did that are wrong. I cannot have to pay the bill. But the fundamental framework there is that there is good and there is bad and there is debt, right? Now, the people that are in all of this political, like ideological framework of like, no, it's not wrong, it's not whatever, they cannot accept that there is good and there's bad, that there is acceptable and there's not acceptable, and they somehow cannot accept that there is debt, right?
That's the key there. I mean, that's the key, JJ, is that word debt. There's a lot of people that don't understand what that means in this sense, in a spirituality sense, in a Christianity, but there's people that don't believe that at all.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I know.
I mean, I've known agnostic people and I've known atheist people. And I talked to an atheist at a party at college one night 30 years ago. And it had to be 20 years ago. And I remember he was an atheist and I remember he was pre-med. And we were standing there and I was like, you're atheist and you're pre-med. And he's like, yeah. And it didn't go exactly like this, but I remember me asking, I was like, so do you understand how the nervous system in the human body works? And he was like, yeah, basically. And I was like, and you're an atheist. You don't believe that there was you believe that just came together like that on its own.
Yeah.
That there was no grand design somewhere in that. And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, okay. And I thought that, I can remember thinking to myself, don't ever go see that doctor. You're going to change. But then you quickly find out that 90% of all freshmen in college are pre-med.
Oh, okay. So like he's pre-med on paper.
On paper. Yeah.
All right. Pre-med on paper. I was pre-law. on paper. Mm-hmm. For like a semester or two.
Yeah, semester.
And then I was like, I don't want to be a fucking lawyer.
No. Fuck that.
All right. Well, I don't know how we ended up here.
We were talking about the theological, the couple of stories that we had on the theological stuff.
Yeah.
We don't talk about this very much on the show.
This theologian, fired from a Christian school for saying, well, like homosexuality is sin. Oh, that is so far across the line that you get fired for putting your school into disrepute.
But
a basic concept.
But is this really? Look at it from a Christian standpoint. Look at it from a true Christian standpoint. If he is a true Christian and he said he believes homosexuality is a sin, and he believes that that's what his true faith believes,
right?
And the Christian school that he was working at fired him for saying that because they want to keep up appearances, then maybe that was God telling him that he was in the wrong place. and that he needs to be in the right place for himself. And this is not a bad thing. This is actually a good thing for him. That's one way to look at it. That's one way to look at it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you know, yeah. Maybe that isn't the school you need to be working at. Maybe you need a fake Christian school, Cliff College. It's fake Christian school. I don't know.
That's
not the only one, but I just thought that was super egregious of like.
Did you talk about the Kirk Cameron story?
Oh, I didn't know. You got a phone call. I held that off.
Oh, okay.
So Richter saying drives me nuts how they exaggerate everything to the nth degree. How the heck is a series of tweets terrorism? Yeah, dude, how is that terrorism? And you know what they say? If you tweet something, it's like, this is wrong. They will be like, you're inciting violence. On Twitter, I'm inciting violence. I'm not inciting violence. You're not. Here's the thing. They are the orthodoxy. They, not this guy, not the Christian, whatever. They controlling media. They get to decide what you're allowed to think or believe. They get to decide what you're allowed to think or believe. That's the reality, whether they'll admit it or not. If they get to say like, oh, you're inciting violence by posting a pretty simple view. It's not. Anyway, I just feel like there should be like more nuance in these conversations, in terms of like
people are afraid to talk about it because
they're afraid.
People are afraid honestly, to go. People are afraid to say, I'm a Christian and I don't believe in homosexuality. They're afraid to say that because their coworker's gay, or the person they know that they go to yoga with is gay, and they don't, they like them, but they don't want to piss them off and alienate them, and they don't want people to talk about it on Facebook and call their asses out on Facebook. Is what it is. You don't want to get called out on your fucking opinions, and some people don't care. Some people have a show on Rumble.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I think, okay, so it's not just entirely antagonistic either, right? It's not either like I'm on their team or I'm not on their team. Like I don't care that much. I kind of think it's wrong. I don't want to personally hurt the feelings of people that I know, right? Like if I have a cousin, or I don't think I have a cousin that's gay, but I can imagine, people live in complicated lives, right? Where like, hey, you're dad doesn't believe what you do. Your mom does. Your cousin is gay. Whatever. You have a third cousin that's transgender, and now you have to go to a family reunion or whatever. Yeah,
I don't care.
I don't know.
If you treat me with respect, I will treat you with the same respect back.
That's the message. That's the message at our church this weekend. Is like, look, like some people are gonna say this is evil and wrong. Some people are going to just say it's sin. You got to deal with what things are saying, but that's not your job. Your job is to love people regardless.
I'm not the judge. That's what I've said a million times. It's not my place to judge. Okay. I have my own thoughts and I have my own feelings, and they're mine. And if I want to share them with you on a weekly or on a daily show on Rumble, I will. But if I don't want to share those, I won't. But you're exactly right. Yeah.
All right. So on this topic, and I don't have the James Cameron story. You can pull it up, but I do have this other one here. Check this out. An NHL goalie, James Ramier,
whoever.
I already messed it up. Deacon, if you don't know the name, you're supposed to just say it and move on. You're not supposed to make a thing out of it because nobody else knows either.
It takes up a lot of time when you do that.
NHL goalie JR refuses to wear LGBTQIA plus. They didn't put the two-spirit in there.
What do all these fucking letters stand for anymore?
LGBTQ. He's on two teams. He's on whatever this team is, and he's not. He's also supposed to be on the San Jose Sharks, and
gay,
also
bisexual, trans. What's the Q? Queer? What the fuck is queer? I thought queer meant gay and lesbian.
Yeah.
What does that mean? What? Okay, whatever. I don't
know. Queer is the gender spectrum, because it's not just male and female. It's like them, zer, and they, their, and then 97 categories.
People understand what the fucking root definition of the word queer is? My son got in trouble in school 2 weeks ago for reading a passage from a book that had that word. And he said he didn't want to read that word. And he said it because it means weird, strange, odd. And he said that word and read it in class. And his dumbass, woke ass fucking teacher said, "Don't say that word, blah, 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 blah." And Alex goes, "I was just reading what I was supposed to read." Don't say that word. It's anyway, what the fuck does IA mean? Because
okay, I was kind of joking before. I know that this is intersectional. So this is like male and female or at the same time or something. Or I don't know, intersection, whatever. It's a bunch of made up hogwash. I literally don't know what A+ is. I don't know what A. You guys know what A is? What's A?
Animals? I know that tail or something.
And I know that there's a.
Are you like those fucking things in Avatar? Is that what the is? You have sex tails?
No, it's not twin spirit. That's the two spirit. So the A+ is the A is something else. There's also a 2S.
So you don't asexual at all. You just sit around and you moderate fucking Reddit all day.
You're not asexual. Puberty just hadn't hit yet.
So okay.
So are possessed people now part of the LT? Oh dang! Ow. So Deacon, I've been telling you about the 2S that they don't always stick on here because the 2S is the two spirit because it's like the Native American thing or something like that. And Richter says that the two spirit people are just possessed. Ouch! I didn't say that. That was Richter. All right. Anyway, so the goalie, James Jr. says, "I'm not wearing a jersey that you put a LGBTQA plus pride symbol on. I'm not going to do it."
Good for this dude.
Yeah, right. I mean, like this is what I'm talking about. They get to decide what is okay and what is allowed and what is cultural orthodoxy. And they're like, "You must wear our colors. You must wear our flag." And he's like, "No, I'm not going to do that. I think it's wrong. Okay. I think it's wrong." Is that all right?
And what happens when, I don't know, a football player kneels for something on the same freaking.
Yeah. For all 13 years of my NHL career, I have been a Christian, not just in title, but in how I choose to live my life daily. I have a personal faith in Jesus Christ, who died on the cross for my sins, and in response asks me to love everyone and follow him. I have no hate in my heart for everyone, and I've always strived to treat everyone I encounter with respect and kindness. In this specific instance, I am choosing not to endorse something that is counter to my personal convictions, which are based on the Bible, the highest authority in my life. I strongly believe that every person has value and worth, and the LGBTQIA plus community, like all others, should be welcomed in all aspects of the game of hockey. So, like, he just said, like, "You do you, boo," but I don't have to. I mean, yes, that is such a well-worded response. That is amazing. So, bravo, James Ramir or Reimer, JR. My buddies call him JR. So, what's up, JR? All right.
Sorry, I missed that story, but that's good for that guy.
That is.
But on the same hand, I mean, Colin Capper or whatever,
Colin Copernic,
Colin Copernicus kneeled down because of something that he believed in. And everybody went nuts on both sides. So I mean, why can't this guy do this for something that he believes in? He believes in this. Shouldn't we respect his beliefs? Huh?
It's not even a paid sponsorship. It's not like NASCAR or Pepsi Cola bought an ad to wear on his jersey.
It's not a paid sponsorship.
It is a political advocacy organization that absolutely has an agenda that you better choke down. You better abide, or you're going to get reported on Twitter as a terrorist, and then the FBI is going to be like, "Oh, Twitter said there's a terrorist," and the
because
FBI
some
is
rich fucking guy's kid is gay and he owns the fucking half the NFL or some bullshit, and you've got to do it because Jamie Lee Curtis now has a fucking daughter instead of a son, and you've got to do that because she's got more fucking power than you. Yeah, that's a big thing.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous.
Honestly, I feel bad for people that have to kind of go through that. I saw a video just last night of a guy like on, I don't know, it was like a Twitter video or whatever, and it was a clip from like Dr. Phil, and there was a dad, just a guy, as far as I know, sitting on stage with Dr. Phil, and then out to the stage walks his son, his biological son, that's now trans and you know, dressed up as a woman, didn't look like no kind of woman. And the dad is heartbroken because his son is making choices that are probably extremely harmful
He's
to his
making
existence.
choices that the dad wouldn't make.
Yeah, but also like they're detrimental. It's not just oh, you're making choices I wouldn't make. You're making choices that are definitely going to lead to harm in your life. And I don't want that as your dad.
I don't want that as the dad, but you know what? Also, as a parent, I have had to accept the fact that I learned this. I have to let my children make mistakes that I see coming, because if
Yeah,
I stop them from making the mistake, I'm not really teaching them anything.
it's true.
Because and I learned this very early on when Deacon was very, very little, just learning to walk, just walking around and taking his, he was mobile, but he wasn't running. All right. We were at my brother's house. My brother lives in this basement, and he's got these radiators that he puts out to supplement the heat in the basement, and these little radiators that he plugs in the winter. And there was one sitting over there, and Deacon walked over and he grabbed that little radiator, that little rolling radiator, and and he come over there to me, and he's got burned and whatnot. And my sister-in-law looked at me, and she goes, she's a hippie. She goes, he just found out what the word burnt meant. And I was like, yeah. And we had a huge conversation about my son just now finding out what the word burnt meant, because even though he was little, but let's say you're trying to tell your daughter who has never been burned that
Yeah.
you don't want your daughter to be burned, do you? Absolutely not.
No way.
But she needs to know what burned means in order to
Right.
know to avoid it, but the only way to do that, if you were to tell your daughter, look, honey, if you do this, it's going to cause a welt and a blister, and it's going to hurt really bad, and pus and all this, and we may have to go to the doctor and all this, and it's going to hurt, and you're going to cry, and all, you can tell her every single thing that it's going to do, and it doesn't matter, because she's not going to know until she gets burnt.
That's true.
And I look at that like, my son now has been broken up with his girlfriends a couple of times, and he's been in his room sad and whatnot. I can tell, and it hurts me, dude.
Yeah.
It hurts me, and I want to go in there and say something and do something, give him a hug or do something, because I know he was upset and whatnot. But I'm in the same mindset. I'm like, he's got to have his heart broken by these little girls because I did too. And I learned from that. You learn from all that.
It's like the things that are painfully obvious, and you have to witness other people like, why can you not figure that out? But you know what? There were many things in my life that I went through that were painfully obvious to people around me, and I was like, I'm gonna figure it out myself.
And I've said that now a couple of times to my sons. I've said that I'm just gonna let him. I'm just going to let him screw it up and let him have to do it over again. I tried to tell him to do it right the first time and how to do it, and he insists on doing it his way. So I'm going to let him do it his way and figure out it's going to fucking break, and he's going to have to do it over again. That's just as a parent, we look at that, but also we need to, as spiritual people, we need to look at that as God too. Every time somebody says, God lets bad stuff happen, and God let that happen, and God let that, dude, you're not going to learn anything if dad comes and stops you from getting burned all the time. You're not going to learn what burned means.
Yeah. There's been at least, my kids are only 4 and 5, but there's been quite a few times I've been like, well, that was a mistake, wasn't it?
as they get there, because they're getting to be where,
but
getting
dude,
out of the
back to the
getting into the fun.
back to the context of the story I was just talking about, though. Like the difference is the bad choice that some of the young people that are making today is they're cutting their tits off, or they're having a hysterectomy, or they're having their junk cut off. Like they're making irrevocably bad decisions.
I've read many articles and seen many things on people that went through the surgery and were very upset that they did and took those pills, and now they wish they'd have never. I've seen many of them. All right, but
Yeah.
I've also seen on the same side. I've seen many of the other. So once again, I'm just going to say, my name's Paul, and this is between y'all.
My line is like, you're an adult, you do whatever you want, but kids, no kids.
No
That's
kids.
all.
Yeah,
that's it.
That's
No
where
kids.
I draw the line.
If we have to go to war over kids doing like, oh, we want puberty blockers.
17 and 8, 17 and 18,
no.
18, 19, and 20-year-olds, even though you can make your own decisions, you're still dumb as shit. And you don't know.
You don't know jack shit.
I'm not saying that just because I'm a crotchety old man, because when I was 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, I thought I knew every fucking thing in the world, and I didn't know dick.
You didn't know it, So, like, yeah, you're an adult. Wink, wink.
Wink, wink.
You don't know anything. All right, man. We're out of time. We can save the Andy Kaufman thing for tomorrow.
Yeah, it was just a cool thing I ran across today.
It was cool.
Yeah, I didn't want to talk about it very much, but
okay. All right.
So this is the point in the show where I remind JJ to get a dad joke, and we remind you to send in your dad jokes to us.
Also, subscribe. Deacon, we had for some reason tons of action yesterday. Like we had a bunch of views yesterday. I think it was because Steven Crowder moved to Rumble. So
5 or 6 views. How many? 6 or 7?
No, it was 150 or something like that by an hour or two after the show. Yeah, it was in the middle of the Steven Crowder thing. So if you don't know, I don't know how much you follow Steven Crowder, but Steven Crowder kind of left the deal with the Daily Wire or Glenn Beck. I think he left the deal with Glenn Beck and Blaze TV, and he's now independent. He's here on Rumble. He's exclusive to Rumble, just like us, except we're also on YouTube, but we're exclusive on Rumble. And
and Twitter and Facebook.
A bunch of other places, but the place you ought to be is rumble.com/JJW. But consider us the pre-show to the good show. So you first start with this, and you get this bad taste out of your mouth from the morning, and then you go to Crowder and you can laugh. It'll be great. It's so good. So
I've got one quick question before we end here. Have you ever noticed? I was in the store yesterday. I was getting some stuff for breakfast here at work. Did you ever notice that there's Pop-Tarts, but there's no Mom Tarts? It's a pastryarchy.
Damn the pastryarchy.
It's a pastryarchy.
I'd like to remind you of the wise words of this late father. He lived and he died, and his children said he couldn't remember his blood type, and that might have been the reason he died. Maybe, I don't know, he didn't know his blood type. But his last words were, "Be positive." All right, racism's evil. You guys should just call each other.
Call your mother.
Call your mom.
Call your
or your
mom.
dad. Whatever. They love you, and they don't want you to burn yourself or get your dick off. Bye.